The Interagency Council of Norristown, ICN, is a consortium of organizations and individuals concerned with improving the quality of life and the delivery of human services within the greater central Montgomery County area. We bring together people in the region to promote collaboration and cooperation among social service organizations, community groups, local government, and residents. Through this show, ICN presents Making Connections. We'll consider a variety of topics that will identify community resources and needs, and we'll discuss quality of life issues. We'll talk about strategies for strengthening our families, healthy lifestyle choices, and volunteer options. We hope you'll find our show informative and helpful. Today's show will talk about two collaborative efforts in our area, the First Suburbs, and also a little bit about the Interagency Council of Norristown. Today's ICN Presents Making Connections show will focus on a growing organization in our area, First Suburbs. Here to talk with us about it is David Forrest. He's the municipal administrator for the municipality of Norristown. As Chief Executive Officer, you're responsible for overseeing all the departments in the municipality, and you're working to serve the residents of Norristown in a progressive, efficient, economical, and responsive government. Sounds good. The First Suburbs, you're a member of the First Suburbs, and it's a regional coalition of community leaders who are concerned about revitalization and stabilization issues. You're interested in things like infrastructure, like sewer and roads, education financing, and housing availability and quality. Those are kind of different areas. Tell us a little bit about what is First Suburbs and why it's important to us here in Norristown.
Well, as you said, we're a coalition of governments, faith-based organizations, school districts that are all share some common and unique challenges that are associated with older communities like Norristown, Pottstown, Coatesville, Upper Darby. These are communities that over the past 50 years or so have been sort of left behind. There's been a pattern of disinvestment in these communities. And so we've identified, as you suggested, 3 issues that we've come together on: infrastructure, education, and housing equity. And this is our agenda for change, and we're reaching across municipal boundaries because we feel that's important for us to organize so that we can express to our elected officials with one unified voice, the issues that we think are important and we need action on.
So instead of saying it's Norristown or Pottstown, here in Montgomery County, it's Norristown and Pottstown. We have some similar concerns, and so we want to make our appeals kind of together.
It's tough to get things done if you work in isolation.
Right.
I've been in municipal government for 15 years now, and it was very difficult as one community to make change. But if we can reach across municipal boundaries, if we can develop a number of allies across these issues, we'll be much more powerful. And that's really what First Suburbs is all about. It's about organizing people and institutions to gain, quite frankly, political power to make change, because in the past 50 years, these communities have been declining. And I think you've seen it, and other leaders in the region have seen it, and it's not getting any better. And there's a realization that unless we gain some political power and we join hands and we speak with one voice, we're just not going to make the changes we need to make in our communities and make them better.
Tell me about this phrase, First Suburbs. What does that mean?
Well, the First Suburbs really has to do with the first communities that were settled after Philadelphia. So as people originally left Philadelphia post-World War II and they settled the first ring of suburbs, that's what we're referring to. But First Suburbs has also kind of gone beyond that to include older river towns like Norristown and Pottstown.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because Norristown was settled around the same time as Philadelphia, and I don't know if it was ever really regarded as a suburb, but that makes a lot of sense to me now.
But we share a lot of the same challenges.
True.
We have really high taxes. We struggle to pay for education for our children. Our infrastructure is crumbling. I mean, one of the things that's common to Norristown, Pottstown, Lansdowne, Upper Darby is that, for instance, our sewer systems have been in the ground for probably 100 years.
Wow, yeah.
And it is going to cost millions and millions of dollars to get those sewer systems, corrected and maintained and repaired. And it's more money than, frankly, these communities can afford. And so how do you get that done? There just isn't enough tax dollars in these communities to take care of the problems that they have. And so, it's something we need to work on. We need to highlight to our elected officials. I mean, we've been investing as a society in sprawl.
In leaving the communities.
Right. We've been investing in that. There's been new highways, bridges, sewers, you can name it, out in the hinterland.
What used to be all the farmland.
Where all the farmland
even
was.
Just 10 years ago.
Yeah, Chester County, western Montgomery County. There's been a tremendous amount of investment out there. But what we need to do is take the money that's been invested out there and reinvest it in our older communities where we have existing infrastructure, but it's starting to deteriorate.
Because all those developments are not just private dollars. They involve public dollars as well.
Right.
And public policy.
Right. And public policy in the last 50 years has actually resulted in channeling our tax dollars from residents in older communities out into in the far-flung the suburbs. And what we're saying is, hey, it's not working. You're creating sprawl and all the traffic congestion that goes along with it.
Right.
How about reorienting those policies, direct those dollars back into places like Norristown, Pottstown, and Upper Darby, where there are tremendous concentrations of population already, where we have the existing infrastructure, and it's good infrastructure. We just need the dollars to maintain it. And right now, we just don't have the dollars.
Boy, that makes a lot of sense. It really does, to work together instead of in isolation. I mean, the river flows. It doesn't stop at one town's border or another. I know, locally in Norristown, the Norristown Area School District is actually comprised of 3 municipalities, and, the 3 municipalities do work together on a couple different initiatives. But to take it even bigger, I can see that makes a lot of sense.
You can imagine what would happen, and, the attention that you would get if Norristown School District worked with the Pottstown School District, worked with the Coatesville School District, worked with the Upper Darby School District, worked with the William Penn School District. I mean, you're really going to magnify the impact that you have when you go to your elected representatives seeking change. And that's what we're all about, is we need a voice in Harrisburg, and we need a voice in Washington.
Infrastructure